now. It's kind of a gut feeling. Belief and faith, these are all kind of, gut feelings. Now, so now we've discussed how all these are interconnected, but actually the fascinating thing is not only are these interconnected within each quadrant, but all the quadrants are interconnected. So when we have awareness, it goes to belief. Let me see if it's recorded. Yeah. Awareness goes to belief. So this is sensation, perception, response, awareness. Now this is the fascinating thing. So there's sensors, perceivers. Now response also is tied to responsible. We'll get to this later. But okay, so awareness, it's all about self-awareness. So once, there's sensation, perception, there's response, and then all these are tied to self-awareness. So if you don't sense anything, you don't perceive anything, you don't have any responses, there is no self. This is what self-awareness is. Without this, there is no self. But actually, there are things that sense and perceive that don't have a self-awareness. There's animals that don't have self-awareness. If you put a dot on an animal's head and it looks at itself in the mirror, it won't notice it. But there are some animals that do have self-awareness. So if you put a dot on a chimpanzee's head and it looks in the mirror, it's going to take the dot off its head because it has self-awareness. So there's sensation of self, there's self-perception, and self-perception isn't always accurate. There are people who have eating disorders who have this self-perception that they're fat, but they're not really fat. There's self-responsibility. So people who are responsible, they take account of things, and they help people out, and they are good at that, responsible people. And there's people who are self-aware. Now, awareness, this is a thing. Once you have self-awareness, though, this can be scary, right? Once again, awareness, if you're aware of something, you haven't quite put your finger on it. You're aware of it, but you haven't encapsulated it yet. You haven't created a formula for it, a structure. But what ends up happening is awareness also, this is interesting, aware and beware. They come from the same root word. Awareness is scary. The word that awareness comes from is wary, which means cautious. Now, people who are responsible, they're cautious. People who sense things if you think about you're sensing things, you're a little bit cautious. You're sensing things. You're aware of your surroundings. You're making sure that things are safe, things are good. Now, that's important. There needs to be a little bit of caution. So awareness comes from the root word caution. Beware also. Caution, beware. Well, beware moves to belief, because once you're cautious, once you're aware, you beware. And when you beware,